really looking at problem solving and strategic thinking. So even in developing the very first session and deciding what do we cover, right? Because it's such a broad topic. I'm so excited because this is where one of my very first tangible learning moments, if you will, came into play. And that's really discovering how do we get to the root cause so that we don't just address a symptom. And sometimes the symptoms really can seem like they're the root cause. So that was exciting for me to really invest time in how do we develop this in a way and use a tool that's going to be really easy to apply, but also very relevant. And it's something that I continue to use myself. So being able to introduce that, I'm looking forward to doing, and then looking forward to hearing from participants how that was helpful.
Hey, welcome back to Beyond the Desk Admin Advocates. We're happy to have you on another episode. And again today, we have a special guest with us. Our very own on-staff, on-team, Veronica Ingram is here with us. Yay. Veronica, I'll let you do a little introduction of yourself and maybe just share a little bit about why you might be visiting with us today, and then we'll get started with some questions.
Sounds good. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Veronica Ingram. I am so very happy to be here and to be part of this episode. I am a recently on team at IAAP. Before that, I worked for a couple decades as an executive assistant, and prior to that, as a school teacher. And so those first two careers have combined beautifully into my current role, which is a huge part of why I'm here today to talk about AdminElevate Experience.
Awesome. So excited. You just unveiled kind of the top secret, which is we have a new program that we will be launching very soon. It's sort of soft launched right now, but we're headed into a season where we're going to have a full launch of this program. It is called AdminElevate, as you alluded to. And it is a big reason why you have joined us on team to bring that expertise. And just love also that Veronica and I share a little bit of a history. I also started my career as a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, and then moved into an administrative role. And then we both find ourselves here at IAAP. And I think both you and I have some similar stories around how that connection really solidified our connection to our community and the work that we do. So kindred spirits in the room.
Do we want to talk about, so we have another episode, if I can do a sneak peek, where
Sure.
we talk about AdminElevate as a program overall. So maybe hold on to questions about the overall program. And we're here to talk with Veronica specifically about the AdminElevate Experience, which is a training program within AdminElevate. So maybe, Veronica, we start with like 50,000 foot view. You're just learning about AdminElevate Experience. What does someone need to know about this? Like, can I just say too, amazing offering? Like, we're so excited about this. This is, dare I say, game changing. So, not to put too much pressure on that intro, Veronica, sorry, but maybe just give us kind of an idea of what that means and how it impacts our community.
Certainly. And I do think it is game changing. This is really a resource and offering for professional development and growth that is provided within an organization or a company. So this is developed very much in partnership with them. We have a suite of offerings really to help that organization address specific needs within their company and also to help them to invest in the development of their administrative professionals. So I'm super excited to be a part of this. It has been a wonderful experience, and I look forward to providing this to my peers within their organizations.
That is so great. And anybody who's been around IAAP for more than a minute knows that we have been offering training and development for a whole lot of years now. But it really has been more to the community at large, right? It is, if you're an administrative professional, an executive, depending on the offering, come to us. Right. And receive that training, either virtually, in person, whatever. But this is unique. We come to you, we come to your organization, your company, either virtually or in person. We talked about game changing, like what really makes that a game changer? And I am going to ask you about the specific offerings. I know you are ready to deliver all of those to us. But before we do, maybe talk about why that is such a big distinction. And maybe we can talk after that a little bit about why we feel like that's so important and impactful.
Yes. And I was going to say, Veronica, thinking about some of the barriers that we consistently hear, the challenges that admins face, if you can talk a little bit about how you think the AdminElevate experience might address some of those issues, concerns, barriers that admins face when trying to get funding or get approval to come to IAAP training or events.
Certainly. So I'll start there. One of the things about this particular experience is that we go inside the company. So that helps a lot with barrier. And also we are tailoring it to every company specific needs, what they say their priorities are. And we do this really through a very comprehensive deep dive into what the company needs. Now that's more of the overarching AdminElevate, which you'll hear about later. Particularly here, there are really a comprehensive suite of offerings, and each of them is designed to work independently and also to complement each other. So I'm really proud of the work that's gone into developing that. And it is done in such a way to provide really ongoing support. This is another part that's a game changer. So by ongoing support, I mean that organizations could also opt in for structured progress updates where we really have time with the staff that have done the training to do some reflection. Okay, from their takeaways, what have they put into practice? What's worked well? What have they learned? And to continue to provide support in that way. So it's not just a one-time offering, but it really is a learning pathway that continues and it grows with the organization and with the administrative staff.
I love that. And I do think that for the folks in our community who have maybe attended Summit in the past, you've probably heard us talk about this program with different language around it. We've talked about intra-organizational work or work where we're creating training to bring inside of a company. And this really truly is the culmination of all of those efforts, that work. And so to know that we have you on team who came from the IAAP community, I really, really want to highlight and exclamation point the fact that you have this viewpoint and perspective of being a member of the community, receiving the trainings, the benefits of the work that IAAP provides and offers. And you're sitting on the other side of it now where you're developing some of the training and materials and support for the community. So you're invested in such a unique way in the development of these admins. So not only am I thrilled about, did we lose her? She just went away for us. Oh, now she's back. Did we lose you for a second?
We did.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
It went
green screened. Yeah. I think I'll pick it up.
Investing in.
Yeah. That you are. Okay. Are you good to just keep going? Okay. I do think it's so amazing that you are uniquely invested in our audience, in this profession. And it does speak to your ability to create some of these unique training experiences for specific industries. And you talked about the opportunity to really sit with an organization and understand what the company's goals are. Mm-hmm. What are the unique pain points and challenges within those organizations? So I'm really, really anxious for you to talk about the specific. You talked about the suite, and I would say if there's a bigger word besides suite that we could come up with to identify what you're creating, I would use it, because it is a huge body of work that you've been developing. And I'd love for you to talk maybe a little bit more specifically about some of the modules and training that you are creating.
The unveil moment has arrived.
Well, there are 12. I think of them as categories. And within each category, there are 3 modules. Now, those 3 modules, again, they can be provided independently and they also complement each other. They also build upon each other. So I'll give you an example of a couple of the categories. So there's problem solving and strategic thinking. There is emotional intelligence and leadership, process coordination, project coordination and process improvement, data literacy and decision support, technology integration and AI, conflict management, and collaboration. So that is just naming a few of them, but I could go on. What I'm most excited about providing is development that is really based in collaborative learning experiences where we learn with each other, we learn together, but also building upon the knowledge that attendees and participants already have. And doing so in a way that's relevant for myself as a learner, for myself when I was still receiving professional development. It's so important for it to be something that I can put into practice relatively soon after that training or that development experience has ended. So every single module is designed to do that in 2 ways. And then that complements really well with that quarterly follow-up.
That is so great. And I secretly want you to deliver all 12. Can you just finish it out really fast for us?
So
Sure.
not so
there's
secretly.
also,
Not so secretly.
There is
You can cheat
emotional
too. I know
intelligence
you have a
and
cheat
leadership.
sheet there. It's totally fine.
Thank you, and I will definitely need to. There's financial literacy in the workplace, professionalism and reliability, equity, inclusion, and workplace support, professional development and growth, emotional intelligence and leadership. That might be a repeat.
That's okay. That's okay. I think because
Fair.
I think we've talked about this before, but the work of an administrative professional is so varied, right? So I love that you have the 12 categories, the sub modules within each. I wanted you to deliver all 12. Thank you for that, by the way, because I do think it's important. Like not everyone is going to identify with each one. So suffice it to say, there is something for everyone and multiple things for multiple people.
Right.
I think is really the takeaway that we want you as the community to hear. And I think my follow-up question for you, Mel mentioned it, but you have been in this role. You have, been an administrative professional for a lot of years. You were delivering training before you joined IAAP staff. So you have a lot of really cool, unique facets of what you've done. If there is someone in our community who's sitting there and is like, oh my gosh, my organization needs this. Like we need to have this. We have a group of admins who could really benefit from XYZ category that you shared. What do you think would be a great kind of kickoff talking point to start those internal conversations to say, we need this training brought into our organization?
I think really highlighting the fact that this is tailored to what the organization needs, that it's going to be relevant content. Also, that within every module, there's an opportunity for people to learn and grow no matter their stage in their career. So, whether you were new to the profession or new to the company, or whether you are very seasoned, there's still something for you in every aspect of every module. So I would encourage just really gauging internally conversation. What are some things we would like to grow in? And then having that discussion with a decision maker and also sharing, hey, if we had an opportunity to grow in this area, this is what we could foresee being the ROI, the return on investment for the company, and how we could help the company meet its goals.
Yeah. And, we're kind of talking around some of the core components of the AdminElevate program. And one of them is a tool or a resource that will help us identify what the actual challenges, pain points, needs specifically inside of an organization. So there is a tool or resource that we will be using inside of that program that will help you then craft an experience that actually addresses the key challenges that are being identified inside of an organization. And we also know that admins who are working inside of the role are one of the key resources for us identifying what types of trainings and resources are going to help them elevate. And so I think it's a combination of all of those things, and your unique sort of access to the community is, I think, going to serve the companies and organizations that partner with us incredibly well. So I'm so excited for, you've been in this sort of lab space since you started on team. But we're starting to reach a point very soon where you will get to actually start to deliver some of this training. Can you talk about, like, as you've been doing this sort of in the lab developing, what's something that has come up for you that's really sparked joy in your development work? Could be a specific module, it could be like anything. What's something that has just energized you as you've been doing this work?
There's several things. One, really exploring areas that maybe I have not taken as deep of a dive into. It also has been what I have learned myself in developing the modules. For example, working on the ones for data literacy and decision support. That to me was really a game changer and has informed how I developed subsequent modules. So that to me, just as a lifelong learner, is super exciting. But I also think about my own, moments that are refining even how I think, how I go about solving problems, like with problem solving and strategic thinking sections. That's actually changed how I interact with others, how I ask questions, how I listen differently. So that's more of an unintended perk, but I'm really excited to see for my peers, and this really is developed for my peers. What are going to be those moments where they have their own, oh, I hadn't considered this, or this makes me think in this way, or perhaps, so really that collaborative learning, which isn't just for those who are participating, but I also look forward to learning myself and learning with them. So that's just a brief overview of what has excited me in just the process so far. I'm also very excited to start delivering this content, to start working with organizations and peers within those organizations to really refine it so that it's so relevant for them and that they can have something to apply so they can see and track their own growth. Super excited.
I love that.
I think that makes 3 of us. I think as we go to wrap, one of the things, because we do have people in our community who don't necessarily work for organizations that may be large enough to partake in this content, right? And that was something that was on our mind as we were developing, as you were developing. So we do have a plan in September, October to deliver one of the categories to the community. You can sign up, you can do it virtually. More information will come, but I Veronica, if you want to talk a little bit more about that as kind of a sneak peek. And also, I think the plan, we can definitely see that happening kind of a few times throughout the year, just to make sure that the community gets access to this content, whether you work for an organization that's large enough to partake in AdminElevate or not.
Okay, thank you. So this is very much aligned with one of the things I'm most passionate about, which is how do we make learning and development growth accessible? So we will be looking, I'm going to tease the category if I may.
You sure
Go
can.
for it.
Okay, thank you. So we'll be looking at problem solving and strategic thinking. So even in developing the very first session and deciding what do we cover, right? Because it's such a broad topic. I'm so excited because this is where one of my very first tangible learning moments, if you will, came into play. And that's really discovering how do we get to the root cause so that we don't just address a symptom. And sometimes the symptoms really can seem like they're the root cause. So that was exciting for me to really invest time in how do we develop this in a way and use a tool that's going to be really easy to apply, but also very relevant. And it's something that I continue to use myself. So being able to introduce that, I'm looking forward to doing, and then looking forward to hearing from participants how that was helpful. So again, that's just one part of this multi-part session that we are launching very, very soon.
Yes, I love that. And that really is one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the podcast to really help promote accessibility is such a complex issue or challenge. And, one of the reasons we created AdminElevate was to create more accessibility for admins inside of companies, knowing they can't send every single administrative professional in their organization to a summit, or not everyone can get access to certification at the same time. And so we opened up, this door for admins inside of an organization and discovered there's another layer of accessibility here that we need to consider, which is a lot of the smaller organizations are not going to be able to bring a Veronica into their organization and train for 3 to 6 or 7 admins. So I love that you all have been thinking about okay, what's the additional layer of access here that we can provide so that this content can be delivered to everyone in our community who wants access to it in some way, shape, or form. So I'm super excited for that session that's coming up. We cannot wait. So grateful to have you on the podcast today, Veronica. Anything you really wanted to say to the community before we wrap?
Just that I look forward to connecting further and to reconnecting with those I've already met and to learning and growing together.
Awesome.
Us too.
Yes,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you all in the community for listening. We cannot wait. And we'll put contact information in the description. You have access to our socials, email, everything. If this sparked something and you're like, I want to know more, I want to figure out how to bring Veronica in, I want to attend the 3-part series, how do I sign up? Anything, give us a shout. Keep an eye on your inbox. We'll share all of the information that we can, but we want to make this available and accessible. And if you are having trouble finding it, reach out to us. We're here to help.
Absolutely. See you on the next episode.
Thanks.
Bye.